Do we have our lovely guests here? Hello, hello, hello. Hello.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, hi, hi.
Hi, great to be here and great to hear all the questions coming here and for Robert to help out. So
Oh
nice.
yeah, definitely, definitely. It's really nice. So, I would like to ask you actually before we get started, I would like to ask you to just introduce yourselves. Like, say something about yourselves, about what you do. Just a short introduction, basically, is what I would like to start with.
Yes. Do you want to start?
Yeah, sure. Hi, everybody. My name is Ola Persson. I'm a game developer. I'm a programmer, and I'm an artist as well. 3D graphics, 2D graphics, whatever. Usually, I've been doing lots of apps and stuff like that, and Unity is my main platform for building that. But this is our first endeavor in creating an actual Steam game. So that's the big pivot. I've been working with game development for the last 20 years and done a lot of different things, web games and cell phone games on the old Nokia phones and stuff like that. So yeah, super happy to be here and
Yes, and I'm here too, and I'm Charlotta. I'm really new into the game industries. I've been into marketing for the past 15 years, working in the fashion industry and entertainment industries, and now I'm kind of pivoting and leveling up and going into game narrative design and joining forces with Ola. Which is super exciting. I've also been involved in like 30 kids apps that we did together in the past, as well as a board game that's super fun and that did like a big smash globally. So that was really cool. So now it's fun to actually,
And you have to tell about your previous background as well.
I told them.
Yeah, you did. I didn't listen.
So going from PR, marketing, storytelling, narrative design into game development, even though Ola is the big like genius when it comes to development, it's super fun to be a part of the creative process from the start. That's us.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the introduction. That is really great. Well, I kind of like what I have that's off topic question, but I want to ask you what exactly sparked the idea about getting into game development, getting into developing games, designing and all that kind of stuff.
For me, it's been a passion for forever, basically. And I was working. I would say that my first endeavors in game development was on the Amiga, actually. And I found one game that hadn't compiled its sources, so you could actually swap the graphics. And my background is illustration and graphics, as well as game development. But at that time, I was purely a graphician. So I was super happy about the opportunity to be able to mod this weird. It was some kind of car game, like a top-down game. I do not recall what it was called. But after understanding that you could do this, we found the modding community on Doom. I think it was perhaps Doom 2 that we were mostly working with. And we had like a team of people, pals. Like we weren't that old, of course. It was back in the days. And we started modding Doom 2, and I did graphics, and somebody else did a level design, and we got super interested in it. So I got contacted by a game studio called Software Sweden, and this was basically '96 or something. And we created a game called Bubble Pop and another called Bomb Blast. They're actually available to play on DOS emulators online still. And that was before I started working professionally with it. Then I went into internet web design and stuff like that in '98, and I used my skills as a game developer because that was my main interest. So basically, I sold every project I think you need a web game for this particular campaign. And for this particular campaign, I also think you need a web game. So basically, I had a paid hobby to create all these web games for different companies, Microsoft, Nokia. We worked lots with, and we worked with so many different brands. And for Nokia, actually, when they started understanding, they had something called Club Nokia. And they understood that we could create this, and they asked us, can you do like a game? The screens on the cell phones were actually black and white, and they were really, really low-fi, but they just started a development of a product that would have color screen. So they asked us, could you do something for this? And we created a game called Ghostblade. And we realized, wow, this had so many downloads from WAP. And eventually, we founded our own company called Pocket Panic. That site is still available, and we created a game called Nano Kid, and on that route it is actually. Then for a long time, I didn't do much commercial game designs. I only created a platform called HeyScore, and then I started with my apps. But now I'm back actually trying to create a really deep and fun experience with all different lessons I've collected along the route. That's my background, at least.
Yeah. And for me, I mean, I'm kind of like the opposite of Ola. I've just recently heard of Atari and all that stuff. So I've only been playing games that I think are fun. I've been really into like story-based games and more like casual or visual novel. Like I've been in kind of, or like horror games. I've been into very commercial games and not at all into development before. And so when we met, I got like introduced to this whole world, and it's become like a joint interest of ours. And we're also a married couple. So our kids, they are like super gamers as well. So now we are almost like the whole family is like living, breathing in the games world. So yeah, it's really fun, and that was really natural for us to move on to doing this together, since we have been working creatively but apart. And everything that we have done that's been like our projects has been kind of like hobby projects, such as we did like a short film series, we did a board game, we did mobile apps, we did like YouTube baby star videos when our kids were little, like music projects, and everything has just been like on side. So now this spring I decided to leave the H&M group where I was working previously to join forces with Ola and East Sweden Game in Linköping in Sweden to go all in with this. So this is our first game, and we've been working like tirelessly with it, and we're only 3 months into development. And this weekend we are kind of launching our first like alpha demo, and Igrit is going to be the first one to play it. So or like at least online revealing
she actually is the first one to play it, because she played it live on DreamHack where we met her.
Yes, she is.
Yeah, so she is
it's very close to our heart.
First player,
and
basically.
so happy to be here, and yeah, to see you try it now when it's gone like a month since we last met.
Now it's fun.
Now it's really
pretty
really
cool
fun
then, but now it's starting to look like something here.
Yeah.
Alrighty,
Yes.
whoa. That is very exciting. I actually,
Problem there, right?
I mean, I actually didn't believe that I'm the first one, because I remember when I met you up on the meet and greet, as I said in the beginning of the stream to my viewers, to my community, that we met basically at the meet and greet, and it was very early. It was Friday. People were just arriving, setting up, and all that kind of stuff. So there were not that many people going around in Elmia at that point. And I kind of feel like, I had a feeling something will happen, but I didn't believe that this will happen, that you will come up to the meet and greet, introduce yourselves. And then I started thinking more and more. And I was like, I have to find them. I have to find them and play the game. Like, I have to get the context, but I didn't believe that I was actually the very first one to be playing the game. I thought other people, because you were introducing to other people around, you're meeting new people, networking. I really thought that there were other people that actually joined you, just like I did, to actually try the game, you know? So that's really surprising and very you know, like it's
Oh,
very
you're the
sweet
first
for
one,
me.
and you
Yes,
basically
yes.
found us.
Well,
Yeah.
technically we
Because all of
found
us
each
have
other.
been on site at DreamHack.
Yeah, super cool.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
that
meant to be.
Yeah,
exactly, it's
it is
meant
the
to
force,
be.
as Robert says.
So like, if people believe that there is stuff that happens just because they happen, you know, no purpose or anything, that is not true. There is purpose in everything, and stuff happen for a certain reason. So yes, I really believe in that. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I will make sure to
We
play the
agree. We
game.
agree.
Exactly.
I'll make sure to try the game a bit later, as we have to
So
go
nice.
through all the questions that are still piling up from what I can see right now. So we're gonna get to that point a bit later. And I want to start with one of the other side questions. Like, can you give me a bit of a overview, like the concept and the gameplay and the mechanics of your game of Pirates Transylvania? Like, how does the turn-based vampire slaying pachinko roguelike elements come together, and you know, how does it all work together, essentially?
Yeah. Should I take it?
Yeah, sure. You can start.
Yeah, I mean, I can talk a little bit about the story, and then Ola can go deeper into the gameplay. So Paris, Transylvania, it's a vampire slaying pachinko roguelike game, and it's turn-based, and in this game, you will step into the shoes of Marie Antoinette, the last queen of France, who is a cake lover. And she's a really like extravagant character. And I mean, I personally like really love her, and I always feel that all the women that have been kind of villainated in history, you know, I'm always like questioning that a little bit, and looking into the story of her being really into like history. I feel that she was a really like resilient woman, and everything you've heard about her is very negative, but she actually did a lot of good things. And being like born a princess and then becoming a queen, it feels like she could really, you know, if she would start over in like a really dark place like Transylvania, she'd probably kick their ass. So that's why you play as Marie Antoinette. And in this story, she escapes the guillotine and her beheading. It jams, and she takes her chance and runs off, and accidentally stumbles into Transylvania.
Wrong turn.
Yeah. Like how we met, it's all about like the turns we take in life. And the player's mission is to conquer all the wicked, vain, flamboyant, scary vampire clans that rule this empire, so she can get back on top again and take over, and maybe this time also bringing like the people with her.
Yeah, it's going to be story based as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's and that's not implemented in the demo currently, but you're getting a sneak peek for what's to come here.
Yeah. And then the gameplay. So
basically, it's it's a game that's based on some of our favorite games that draws heavily inspiration from Peglin and Slay the Spire. So it's a roguelike game. It's a deck building game where you collect a deck of different cards, and you use these cards as projectiles. And all of these cards, of course, have different features, and there's relics that will augment the cards. And the big idea here is that you're having a turn-based fight, and of course a roguelike map. You enter a turn-based fight on the roguelike map, and you choose your navigation. So you enter the fight, and then you select your enemy to attack, and you use your cards, and you're dealt a hand of mana that you need to distribute on what you're going to do on this particular round, and you can do whatever you want during your round as long as the mana allows it to. And then when you're finished, you need to let the enemies have their round and attack you back. So that is the basics of it. The pachinko element, basically the peglin, peg popping element, is similar to a dice roll. You basically take a chance, you can aim and shoot and do some different things, and then after a while that projectile will just bounce around the level and basically start affecting your attack, like how strong it will be in a dice-like way, basically. And the mayhem part is it's going to be lots and lots of stuff happening in this game. It's going to be crammed with different things, and in the current demo, of course, it's we just finished that, so nobody ever has played it yet. but it's like very low tier go-to-market product compared to what it's going to be. It's going to be very entertaining, we hope.
It will be. And also, Ola mentioned Peglin, and also just to let you guys know that the game combines the mechanics of Peglin and Slay the Spire. Those two are like some of our, absolutely favorite games and inspiration sources.
Yeah.
We have taken them and applied like a fresh twist, both in format and gameplay, and also, story and everything. So even though at first glance you can you will be familiar, but when you play it, it's totally different.
Yeah, gameplay is very different, and it's going to be lots of different inspirations. I used to be developing platform games, and there's going to be mini games within this using some of my prior stuff that I've been working on, and a lot of different things happening at once. So eventually it's going to be very deep.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So basically those games were serving for the inspiration. Like, is there something like a bit of a twist that you made yourself compared to the general roguelike and pachinko games? Because those are two different styles that you guys combined together. But did you add your own twist to the whole thing? Something that is not like found in any other game within the same style?
I would say that the freedom that it's turn-based, but you can use your inventory. Basically, when the enemies are attacking, it's an action. You can during your throw, when throwing a projectile down, you can actually swap your target. So it's like there's an action part as well, and that brings to the depth. And of course, the idea that you are able to play these cards in any order with the mana system. That of course, a lot of these concepts are familiar from different other games, and it's like a same but different approach. And the combination is the freshness to it. And of course, I think that once you start playing it, just the gist of having the action-oriented elements together with the strategy is different. But then again, I need to mention something that is very different from this, because this is supposed to be a story-based roguelike, and that is not explored yet, but that is a big idea about for our game here. It's going to be lore-based. It's gameplay mechanics first, but there's a lot of lore and a lot of secrets and mysteries to be figured out. Or not figured out, just inspired by, or whatever. So that's something I think that it's like a potentially a bigger world eventually here, that's larger than this particular game. Compared that we're building something that's supposed to be larger.
That's awesome. That's really awesome. And I have a few questions. Not me, but my community has some questions as well. One of which is, how long did it take to develop the game?
We're 3 months in development, so you're going to be astounded. I hope for what we whipped together in these 3 months. And we're aiming to have an actual early access, Steam early access product end of October. And then we're going to be in early access and work closely together with our fans and players and interestees to be able to develop this into a game that we co-create everybody. So we're very eager to hear ideas. Like there's not a strict plan of what this game is going to be. It's a work in progress. We have been able during these 3 months to push it to a fun and playable state. And then again, I need to say, like, this is based on my 7 years of Unity development. So I've got so many libraries and stuff that I already created. So I wouldn't say that anybody would be able to create this in that short amount of time if they started from scratch. So yeah, it's like a little bit hard to say. But yeah, this particular product has 3 months.
And when we launch early access, it will be like a really great product already. But then just to like update and hear everyone out when they play it and make it like even better, and we want to add. So we're gonna have the final one, 1.0, like a year after, max.
Wow. I mean,
I can mention something more. This is a
No, go ahead. Sorry.
This is content. This is a content-oriented game. So there's like a bunch of small things that you can add as each card in this deck that you're building. It can have vastly different functions. So like now the game itself is a platform to be able to play around with different ideas. Oh, what if you have a card that does this? And now the platform is finished, and there's only 5 cards in the game yet. So the content is like very low at this point. It's still playable because it's fun to be able to strategize with the few cards that you have available. But imagine what this will be when there's like 100 different cards and you really need to play the deck building mechanics. So it's adding a single brick, or card in this case, and game concept into like something that synergizes and starts to be super fun together, and actually gives this rogue, fresh run scenario where every run is very different. So it's a content-based game. So yeah, that's how it's created and ideas around it.
Yeah, and now when everything with the core development is, I don't know if I want to say finished, but like at least come this far, then we can really work to add all those like super fun elements to make it even more rich.
Finished-esque, maybe. Sort of finished.
Yeah. Well, and I agree.
Also, since Marie Antoinette loves fashion, it would be so fun to get like the community to help like build her wardrobe as well. So we're talking about like roguelike, Vogue-like.
Okay. That's very interesting. Thank you so much. Do you have any like project in mind of everything you just said? Like not in mind, but like did you make the project? Some sort of like project that you're like setting up your goals for, achievements, what it should be like, and all the stuff like that.
You mean like gameplay mechanics wise?
Yes.
Yeah, we have a long list of stuff. Okay, sorry, please.
No, that was my question. Like, do you have them?
Oh yeah. So gameplay mechanics wise, we have a long list of stuff that we'd like to do. Like the first state here is to bring this to a playable state, and having people who play it understand what this game is about. But then of course there's so many like technical steps that needs to be created. There's technical steps involving how to make this a really good backend format with whatever JSON and stuff with the idea that everything should be transferable over the web, because we're opening up like the possibility to create your own levels, to create your own content, and we're very, very open-minded about all the content. So I'm laying the foundation, creating all these different technical stuff, basically file format stuff and stuff like that, and just being able to tap into the engine without decompiling it and recompiling it and whatnot. But then the list of actual stuff that you're like cards or stuff like that, that's way more limited actually, because I've been focusing on the technical part and trying to save what these cards do and how they interact with whatever for the community. So the roadmap content-wise, it's pretty short actually at this point. The roadmap story-wise, we have lots in the pipeline. That's not as open because that's something we preferably like entertain people with. But the content, game mechanics-wise and stuff like that, that's something we really want to like involve people in and create together.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Like, I understand that there's like challenges and stuff like that, but do you like how many hours a day do you guys actually put in every single day to do the whole work?
Yeah, we're not really crunch culture happy,
No.
but sadly it's been crunch mode for last 3 months. As Charlotta, she's working full time with this, and I'm working full time with this. But Charlotta quit her day job, so we really need to get this rolling fast. So we've been hectically working our asses off basically since from morning to night.
We don't have any investor on board or anything like that, so we're bootstrapping it, and we haven't been pitching for that either because we knew we could make it this quick if we really like put an effort in. So, but I mean, it's not like and Ola's been the one working day and night really, and that's not like sustainable in the long run, of course.
And it's not meant to be, because we aren't going to have unhealthy working hours whenever basically from now on it's going to be like we have a product, we have something to show people, we have something to have people play, and now it's going to be we work hard, but health is very important. Stay healthy.
Yes, true. Our kids they're like, even though he's been around, he's been working, so they are like missing him.
Yeah.
This whole July, it's just been, and June, you've been gone in the game. But it's so fun, and then we all play it, and we love it. So it's, but it's been really, really tough. But still, we're very happy.
Yeah, I just realized I missed out saying something important when you asked us about the uniqueness of this game. And as there's lots of different mini games, all boss levels and small levels will have a complete mini game aspect to it. The first boss that I'm currently working on, it's not implemented in demo, will have a pinball functionality. So basically, when you enter that game level, it's going to be a pinball game and very different from the rest of the game. So yeah, that's an aspect we are thinking of. Lots of 2D physics things that you could implement. There's a game called The Incredible Machine that has all this puzzle-based physics. There's like Angry Birds or tanks like Scorched Earth. There's so many different things you can do with a physics 2D engine. Yeah. So filling in the gaps.
Yeah.
Well, that is not just filling in the gaps. That is actually a really interesting aspect. So people, whenever they keep on playing and playing and playing, they don't get like to the point where it's like feeling the same or they're getting bored. This is a very nice way to actually keep them, entertained for a bit longer time. And I would say that this is a great idea. Like if I were to develop a game, I would never ever think of something like that, a game within the game, like a mini game right there, where you have to accomplish something extra and make it a bit harder. I don't know, like that is all up to you, but that is very, very, very interesting.
Oh, great.
Alrighty.
And also, we only have in the demo now, it's only one world, and there are going to be 3. You didn't say that.
Yeah, it's going to take like an hour to play the whole run, but then again, like depending on if you take like the left route or the middle route or the right route or whatever, like there's so many different things that maybe if you reach the end after an hour, there's going to be like so much content that you missed because you couldn't take that route, so you need to replay it, etc. So it's like a multiple engine, but more so multiple routes scenario where you get different pieces of the puzzle and the story depending on how you play it. So it will.
Alrighty, all right. Since we are onto the topic, I would also. Yeah, sorry. I would also like to ask.
There was talk about the mini Tetris there.
Oh, the mini Tetris. Yeah.
We'll add that for sure.
Yeah. I'm thinking that you could, in the random events, just bump into an old abandoned arcade machine and you play like Snake or you play like whatever, and like perhaps that actually brings something to the lore, like in Five Nights at Freddy's, where lore is explained through these different arcade machines. So yeah, then again, same but different, but very different, perhaps. Perhaps the combination.
Very different. Interesting. I would love to see that later on when you implement it into the game. And Ace right here from my community had a question, which is close to what we were speaking about. So is there an end game or is it never ending?
It's an infinite run, but there's an end. So basically, after an hour, you're gonna meet the end boss and have the end scenario. But you can continue playing. It just restarts with all your gear if you want to like make a massive deck build or something like that, or like explore more routes. So you could, by playing over and over and over again, perhaps have visited all of the different areas in one run. Remember, every run, it's randomly generated at run start. So you will only like be able to like explore your run to the maximum, but there's still content that you missed because you need to play another run to be able to access that material. And the way this is built, it is actually generating a full JSON file. So it's not like you can't quit to the store and just reload and all the cards will be different or something like that, because as the run is generated, except for perhaps random events, there is a file format in the back. It's not like randomly generated on the fly. So you can explore the whole world and see everything that particular run created for you by running through it over and over again after the end. So yeah, it's based in infinity run scenario, but it's just for that particular run, so you will still be needing to restart and run again. Does that answer the question?
Yes.
But then we also wanted to bring in like stats, so you could like keep a score, right? So
Yeah.
I mean, every time it's not only about exploring Transylvania, like another part of Transylvania, but also to kind of like keep a score at how great you are slaying the vampires, or like in the time you're finishing the run and everything like that.
Yeah, and as the run is statically generated, you can actually send your run to another friend and they will be able to compete within that. And that's why I'm doing the legwork with the file formats and stuff like that. Because then it's like random, but not random. But every time you do it, it's random again.
That's actually really, really amazing.
You could have like a
Give it over to...
Oh no, that's okay. I'm sorry. I'm just like, I'm impressed because this this is a whole different twist that you have in mind to add later on in the game, and that by itself is extremely impressive, extremely impressive. And there's a follow-up question from the same person coming here. Would there be some kind of PvP where you can challenge other players with your complete deck build, which you kind of answered? So I would guess the answer is yes on that one.
Yes, eventually. Yes, like any ideas are very appreciated. The fun starts when the game lands in people's hands and they start thinking, "What if?"
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely.
And we're very listening. Of course, we're a small team, so we won't be able to incorporate everything, but we are eager and very open because we don't have a strict idea what this game will be yet. It's part of the fun creating this and keeping the creation process fresh, the game development process fresh.
That's really impressive. 3 months. Like I do understand that you guys do not want to exhaust yourselves, like for, let's say, set up a goal of working 10 or 12 hours a day, because that is too much. But it is very, very, very impressive that you did so much things in just 3 months. And I saw the comments here in chat while we were explaining. Most of the people would definitely believe that this is already a finished product and not something that has been, under development for only 3 months, because 3 months when it comes to game development is not a long time. Not a long time. So that's why it makes it so unique and impressive that you actually managed to do this in such a short amount of time. And
Thank you. Yeah, actually, we're involved with this this community called East Sweden Game, and they are flabbergasted.
Yeah.
Like, what the, how fast are you?
Yeah.
That's impressive. That's impressive. Like, so far, I feel like you're leading my leaderboard for people that have done so many designs and development in such a short time. So far, you guys are on top 1 on my leaderboard when it comes to it. And there was another question from a person within my community. Is there going to be an AI implementation added at some point into the game?
You mean like a enemy AI?
I mean, he's here if he wants to ask that out again, because that was pretty much the question. So I'm not sure what kind of an AI we're talking about. Okay, let's say any type of AI thingies that can possibly exist right now.
Yeah, I can say that the enemies are they will have I would say a pattern to each enemy. I'm thinking that they will attack this attack, that attack, and they will be showing what attack they are going to do. So they will say, I'm going to basically attack you with something between 5 and 10 HPs, and this other enemy is gonna basically enchant the board, and this enemy is gonna build on its shield. So you can actually see their intent, and then you can play your cards based on their intent. Because if nobody's like using, let's say, I'm just shooting off my hip. Let's say if nobody of the enemies are using any fire attack, maybe you shouldn't be playing your ice card, whatever. So there will be a like structure to it.
Mm-hmm.
AI.
I
wouldn't say there's a specific AI thing involved, but the random generation, that could probably be very cool if you added some kind of like an AI to it. But at this time, we're we wouldn't rule it out with question, but we don't have any particular plan for something like that more than the enemy AI.
Got it. Alrighty.
Hope that answers the question. It's like
I
very broad.
really
The
hope
AI
so.
area is infinite.
Yeah, it is infinite, because probably the question was regarding, because right now, in modern times, 2023, AI is being implemented in a lot of softwares for any kind of stuff, games as well. So I mean, it's only a legit question from my standpoint of view. And people are really, really excited. A Magic the Gathering vibe, card or complex. What about the cards? Like, is it hard to come up with the whole concept of how you can create the card so by the end of it makes sense if you get like 5 different cards? Like, do you put a lot of time into thinking about what the cards should be doing as skills, abilities, and etc.?
Yeah, actually, I've been thinking like a little bit too much on that topic, because then I asked a person who was into Magic the Gathering and Rogue deck buildings in a deeper sense, and I got the feedback, oh, actually, part of the fun is that there's stuff that are unbalanced, and like if you have the luck, you can actually get a hand that's like completely overpowering, and you would probably just dang your way through the whole game because you had that luck of that build, and it won't happen the next time. So I had to backpedal a little bit about my thinking that it needed to be balanced, because part of the fun is that you're dealt a hand, and the luck that you actually get whatever cards or synergies and combinations. There are so many infinite permutations of that particular math problem that you can't really balance it, and part of the fun is keeping it fresh. Yeah, so it's more so coming up with fun ideas that aren't like, okay, this card gives you +1 in that, like whatever. It's more like this card actually makes your projectile disappear after 1 second. It's completely useless and completely stupid, and nobody would ever want that. And that's where the deck building management comes in place. Maybe you would just, I don't want that card, I throw it away, and you can do that at any time. So if you like have one card that multiplies every round or whatever, and then your whole deck will be managed by this damn virus, basically. So there's like stuff that you can gamify with that as well. So yeah, it comes down to like now it's been very technically intense during these 3 months, but then again.
But it's also been fun when you've been when you added the shield.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't want a shield. I just want to like kill vampires. I don't want to like protect myself.
Yeah.
But then when we try it, and we've been trying it on people who's been testing it, I mean, shield is like a big thing. Like it wouldn't be the same without it. Like it can really save you when you're close to death. I mean, I love that element. But first I was like hesitant about it.
Yeah, but it comes down to the multitude of different things that you can select, and that builds on that, builds on that, builds on that. So the synergies are basically not, we can't figure out every route that is possible, using these synergies. So yeah.
But it's really fun to see people play it, because everyone has their own style, kind of.
Yeah. So and that is part where people just, oh, this would be so cool. Like one card, it's not particularly hard to create that if it's not like, oh, this card is actually World of Warcraft. You enter World of Warcraft and then it's the whole game of World of Warcraft. That would probably be too hard to create. I wouldn't want to do that.
Yeah, no. That's amazing. But how do you balance the whole difficulty in the game and make sure to still provide enjoyable and nice experience to the users, and have it varying within their skill levels?
Yeah, the skill level is something that we really need to implement, like actually, but this comes down to playing the game. So we've been playing the game, but we've been playing the game our way. So we know how hard it is if you're you, or if it's me or Kota, we know how hard it would be, or the few people that have tinkered with it. But we don't know how hard it is for everybody else. So this comes down to having a completely open testing environment, and the game is available in this weekend, and actually we have a build. So this comes down to having the help of you guys and reaching out to people, and that's what when you figure out this is fun, this is boring. If it is, who knows? I think it's fun. I think it's damn fun, actually. But
It is, yes.
it comes down to people's like. So yeah, balancing together with the community. That's definitely the answer to that question. Community.
That's amazing.
But I can just pitch in here that I also think the difficulty level now should be even. I mean, maybe we need to tweak it to be even more difficult than it is.
Maybe it's too easy.
Yeah.
Maybe as the levels go
Although
by,
my
as
cousin
you.
did it, and he's like a mega gamer. Yeah. Sorry.
No, I was just like, maybe as people are progressing throughout the game and going on higher levels, you know, and the difficulty starts to, as usual, you know, go higher and higher as you go through the different levels. But what about your cousin? You were saying, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like the biggest gamer person in the world. I mean, he takes off from work just to sit home and like game when like Diablo dropped. Like he's really, really engaged. So he was here and he played it, and he actually almost died, really close. And then my brother, who's like never played a game ever, he made it like.
He was actually the least quick learning.
Yeah, like a real noob. But then he got to the.
But he
the
finished
boss
like with full life. So
yes.
yeah, it comes down to
luck.
Comes down to the run, how the run treats you, and and how you play the run actually. So it's definitely skill plus random events and how every playing plays. And as you can't really do any simulations about this is how people actually play it. We just need to have an open development with it.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we're really excited to see you play it, Igrite.
Yes, I'm not gonna be as good, maybe not as bad. We'll see how that's gonna turn out to be. We have another question here from Z-War. How do you work with security when it comes to game cracking, cheating, manipulation, and protection of the source code?
Yeah, I would say that just the security part, it is a Unity project. So you can decompile it if you're handy with tech stuff. So you have that part with any Unity project. Then again, in this particular project, nothing is important security-wise. We invite people to tinker with this project. We are longing for people to make mods, and we're opening up for level editor and the mods stuff and preparing everything for that. So we don't have any particular idea about the security in this particular project. I was a programmer on an app called Wusa previously, and I created their first alpha version, and that is a gambling app. Basically, it's a gambling app where you don't pay any money. It's ad funded, but you can win like €1,000 is just gifted out each week. And on that particular, all the security was handled on the server side, and that's the only way to do it, because you can't hide anything secure. You can only obfuscate within the client, the program that's on your computer. You can always tinker with that. You can tinker with inputs, outputs, whatever. But if you're building a secure server, that's like way harder, basically impossible bank level security for stuff that's on a correctly created server. But then again, the run is for you. Are you cheating against yourself? So it comes down to that in this particular game. This is fun if you want to have the screen rendered upside down, inside out. Be my guest.
That's awesome, but also security is something very important when it comes to like cybersecurity in general. You know, not only security in games against you know, cheating, manipulation, protection of source code, etc. But cybersecurity in general is very, very important nowadays. So that was a very good question, because now that we have everything on the internet, like 99% of the things. Cybersecurity and having digital product out there is actually a very important step. That no matter you or other people, me as a user of many apps, although they're protected, but still, like, I have to do an extra protection for my own self throughout two-factor authentications, etc., to ensure that any sort of brute force attacks or anything will be minimized to the very, very low range.
Definitely, and with the understanding that this game only runs on your client, we're not even collecting stats, which is very, very different. We might do that for the benefit to create like a more fun experience, but I think that this game doesn't connect to any external server, and I think that in this particular scenario, it's better to have the dialogue on like Discord or some other forum to figure out what player wants, because me looking at how long a play through or something is won't give me any information about the experience at all, actually, in this particular scenario. So I think that this game doesn't contain any in-app purchases or anything either. So it's a one purchase thing. It might contain DLCs eventually, but I was a app developer previously, and that whole thing was just built around in-app purchases and using the different APIs and connecting to external servers. So I think it's refreshing from my own perspective to focus on the experience in the game instead of and just keeping it local, like a very old school scenario. But eventually, you need to consider security, like when you're downloading somebody else's level. Like there could be two aspects of security. It could be like somebody who made something rude, even, I don't know, like content management, and that's something you really need to focus on when this thing grows. But at this time, it's a secure compiled program, but there's no larger endeavors than that just of now.
Got it. Thank you so much. And in that term, since we are on to the topic sorta, I see it's right now on Steam, so people can add it to the wish list. Do you plan to release it on other platforms?
Yeah, it is a Unity project, so we have the opportunity to release it on anything. And something we're looking into is Switch, because the indie game market on Switch is also fun and cool. It's definitely possible to release on iOS and Android, but it is created for mouse interaction at the time and the sizes and everything. So I think that what we're focusing on, and also with the idea of having a community and people developing stuff for this game, it's PC, Mac. That's the main platforms. But yeah, everything is possible. PC, Mac first, at least.
And Linux.
And Linux.
Yeah, I see.
Anything with a mouse.
Yeah, got it. But I kind of believe that, moving on within the future, of course, this is your game, but given the fact how the game is set to be, I feel like it's going to be a very great thing if it can be released for mobile users later on, not necessarily right now, but later on. Yeah. I don't know if it's going to be very challenging to redesign that whole thing.
Experience with that.
Yeah, but I kind of feel like this is also going to be very fun game.
To be redesigned.
Mm-hmm.
But what we are going to do when a mobile version is released, we're not changing anything of the payment stuff. It's going to be a one-time purchase. So we're going against the stream, more so focusing on we don't want a disturbed experience. We want this to be fun and for the player, and focusing instead of doing a great game that people want to tell their friends about than doing any other commercializations of the game. It's more like very simple, very down to earth, and we would follow that idea if it came to mobile, when it comes to mobile.
Yeah, that's amazing. And how many people are actually involved into the whole development, marketing, and everything? Like, how many people is your team contained from?
You're looking at it. Yeah, it's only us.
The whole team is
Yeah, whole
gathered.
team is here. Yeah.
I'm doing the technical stuff and the illustrations, basically the game design. Concept-wise, we're creating all stories and stuff. So Charlotta is focus on stories and reach and community building, because that's super important with something like this. This is a game together with together with players, and that's more than half the product. That's why we focused on creating a fun and simple game that we can fill with content and
now the like exciting time for marketing, like, which is like my biggest part in the contribution, when we have the demo to actually like start talking to press, streamers, influencers, community, all the different social channels where we feel like we could have a momentum, as well as applying for festivals as well. So, and we don't have, since we are bootstrapping it, we don't have any paid marketing planned. So it's all going to be very like organic.
Yeah, and I'm creating like illustrations like this.
Wait, you gotta hold it.
Hold it in sharpness. Here's more
Wait.
stuff. So I always start on paper.
And that's actually me.
Yeah, it was Charlotta post for this.
Yeah, with like that.
Here's
Crooked fingers.
a really early version of. Oh, I'm out of focus. Yeah, so it's.
Yeah.
I'm not particularly keen on handling my originals. Here's stuff that isn't in the game.
Oh no, we have a leak again. We have
here's,
more leak
somebody
information
you need to
now.
Yeah, so that's how I.
But the kids are also, they love this, like when it comes to drawing, because they are also like, I have an idea for the game. It should be like a light that, because vampires are, like very sensitive to light, and it should be a light bomb, and they have like different pets, like nocturnal animals and things like that. So, that's like the family part of it when we are drawing.
Yeah, I'm gonna make that the wolf character that's on screen now into a fox from our son. He told me to do it, and that's a really good idea. Just put a cute fox tail on it and make it like slightly smaller and red. Brilliant, new enemy, saving lots of hours.
That's amazing. Oh wow. And what about the kids? Are they helping you somehow? Like, did they give you any ideas for some inspiration for the game or the design or anything?
Yeah, they are. You answer?
Yeah, it's more about like drawing characters, coming up with some ideas. But our son, like, if he would choose, he would game from like morning till night. So he's absolutely our like, he loves to test it, and he's like a real great gamer. Like, he finds all the things that we miss as well. So
Yeah, they have actually good ideas.
Very, very good.
And our daughter, she came nagging me again. It's like, have you implemented my heart shooting little elf yet? Is it implemented? Is it
We're
in
like,
the game?
maybe that's another game.
It's gonna have a hat. It's gonna have a bow with a heart arrow. It's gonna shoot you. And it's like probably gonna give you health. Why not? So that's brilliant. You meet that in a random event. I don't know. It's not implemented, but she's nagging me daily.
Exactly. But also saying that, this isn't a specific like kids game at all. It's more, I think it's gonna be more appealing to adults. So.
Yeah, it's a cozy game.
Yeah.
We had the inspiration for any kind of deck builder, but also like Stardew Valley kind of game. Like calm, fun, but still like like Halloween scary.
Yeah, and like drink a cup of tea or a glass of wine with it, and then it's like, you know, really nice entertainment. Real nice Friday night.
That's really amazing, and you guys already have quality control. Your kids are definitely the quality control of everything that is happening around the game, and especially your daughter nagging you about implementing certain stuff into the game. So that's a complete team. Quality assurance and quality control are the kids for sure, from what I can understand. That's super sweet. That is super
Yeah,
sweet.
and you met them at DreamHack as well.
Oh yeah, I did. Yes,
Yeah.
I was like,
But it's like they're involved because they're like giving up their dad for a while.
yeah,
sorry.
it would be very sweet if you had them around you today. But I understand because yeah, you don't want to be disturbed or anything. But
They're
that's
down in the
okay.
harbor.
Yeah, that's totally okay. But what is your favorite feature that you actually implemented into the game? Another question coming from my community.
Which one is yours?
My favorite feature is definitely like it was eye-opening when you started to be able to select what card to play, and the strategizing that opened up for. That was my favorite part, because before when I didn't have that many cards in the game, it wasn't as complex, and it didn't. You basically just shot it down, and you just hope that you would hit as many pegs in a very casual game way. But when the new cards and the possibility to play your mana to distribute your mana on what cards you're going to play, that opens up for so much more thinking, and basically the game happens in your head instead of on the screen. So that's my favorite part, definitely.
And
then
I
Marie's backstory is
love,
brilliant.
yeah, I love the cake. To shoot cake, that's my favorite part. When that came in, I'm like, ooh, it's super nice. And then there are some
What happens with
random,
cake?
yeah,
What
yeah. What
happens?
happens? Like with cake,
Yeah,
you can kill all of them at once.
it targets 3
So it's really about like let them eat cake, and it's another way to do that. And then there are random events that we just implemented, and I think they are fun because they can really make you question your choices.
Yeah, one of our favorite games is Telltale Games, The Walking Dead. And basically, you have a big clump in your stomach all time while playing that game, because you always think, did I do the right thing? Nah, I didn't. I regret myself. And you have this funny internal dialogue, and it's really fun to see what the social aspect of the game brings.
Yeah, I'm really into that.
That's
Making choices.
Yeah, that is amazing as well. What about bugs? Did you guys find any bugs like to fix along the way where you were implementing all the physics and the code and everything? You know, did you find something funny that you remember, but up until this very day?
Sorry, I got a little bit.
You had a little bug this morning.
Yeah. I've got like one funny bug, but I just have to say hi to my brother. Hi, Miko Bog. That's.
Oh, Miko.
Is it my brother, or is it not? Perhaps.
What's your brother Ted?
Yeah, it probably.
I thought it was Miko.
No.
Okay.
I guess maybe it's some similar, but my brother's old handle used to be Mykonos Bog, so yeah, it is great. That's brilliant. So you found your way. Okay, whatever. Yeah. So bugs. Regarding bugs, yes, I had a really fun bug the other day that. The project, I was tinkering with redoing the graphics for the projectiles, and what happened was that I didn't set the scale on the animation. So the first time I hit a peg, it turned like 20 times as big and filled the whole screen, bouncing down like a mega garlic. And that was pretty weird. Yeah, and I found a bug just when I sent them. Just when I recorded this live game in the back that you have there, I realized that if you swapped the projectile while while aiming you could actually like target 3 with whatever because you swapped to the cake. And I fixed that like 5 minutes before I packed the stuff and we tested the cameras and everything. So that was nice. So maybe there's more, but I think I'm all finished with bugs now, perhaps. Who knows?
Maybe you'll find a bug today, Grytte.
It's all about people, yeah. And when people start playing it, it's they find it.
Yeah.
I'm very keen at finding
And at
different
least that
bugs.
mega garlic bug is gone.
But no, I mean, because it's always challenging when you're developing and you never know what's going to happen. You have to test every single aspect. But in your perspective, have you found a lot of bugs for the past 3 months? Or is it just like small things, funny things here and there?
I am a very good developer. No, but anyhow, yeah. Every time there's a big change, I introduce something, and sometimes I catch them, sometimes I don't. But if there's no big revisions, it's less bug prone. But whenever I do, maybe I should remodel the whole system today. Oh my! But it's fun. I love bugs. It's fun to have them sorted out. It's part of being a programmer. Like I only have one bug, so that I know of, that I have no idea what it was, and that was I can tell everybody who's playing that if you play a full round, close your computer without turning it off, open up, and you're in the second world, the tween started going choppy, and I could only step 1 frame with the clock by taking a screenshot, and I don't know if it's a Unity bug or if it's something that I introduced. So if anybody stumbles upon that, I'm super keen on hearing how they solved it or anything like that. It's a little bit hard to test because you need to have the computer closed after playing the whole first world for a whole night. So I can only try it.
That's interesting way to actually try to even reproduce the whole bug. It seems like not an obvious bug, but a very quite specific one that happens only if you do all the steps like this. Wow.
Yeah, and I think it has to do with because I'm making the time scale of the game completely. You can set it to whatever. If you want to play it super fast, you're be my guest. And so there's a local time thing. So maybe because it's set a time clock when you close the computer, and then in the morning it has like a delta time of like a whole night. So perhaps that's the. But if anybody stumbles into that with a technical eye, I'm all ears. But it's fun with bugs.
I mean, it's not a bug, it's a feature. So yes, it's actually fun. It is actually fun.
Sorry.
No, that's all right. That's all right.
Thank you.
Because that is very, very specific. Like on the first interview that I've done with another game development studio, I played the game live, as I would do yours right now. And I don't know how I replicated one of the, I mean, not replicated, but how I found one of the bugs. But it was pretty funny because he got kind of embarrassed. The developer got kind of embarrassed. He was like, oh no, why bugs? Why on the live stream? Stuff like that. I was like, don't worry about it. It's all handled. But he was like, can you reproduce it? And it was actually very difficult for me to reproduce that particular bug because I have no clue. I had no clue how did that happen. And he was like, can you replicate it? I was like, no, I don't think I can. Like I tried, I couldn't because it was a hoverboard game basically. So I got stuck in a very specific angle on a tall building, and it started to slide down like this, but extremely slowly. So I don't know what kind of like angle or anything I hit, but it started like acting up. So I'm pretty sure that I can find some bugs. Maybe, I'm not sure. No, I'm just kidding. We're not gonna be finding any bugs.
Like, and you're sure it wasn't just a scam to have you stream the game more? Like, you'd just be streaming while finding these bugs.
Maybe, I don't know. Good point. That's a very, 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 very good point. Yes, yes, that's a great one. That's a great one. Miko was asking, would be released? Will there be a Switch version for it? We talked about
Yeah, we're
mobile. We
looking
talked
into Switch.
about.
That's basically the second market for this game. So Steam first. That
Mhm.
is our main topic, but there is an active indie game scene on the Switch, and I've heard that is actually quite like stemming for maybe 15% of income for a game or so. Steam is definitely larger, but it's at least a fair chunk. So, and I think this game would fit on Steam on Switch actually. It's really hitting that that like note. So yeah, it's very interesting. Technologically wise, it's pretty easy. We are on East Sweden Game that we're collaborating or joining forces with together to in this co-working space. There's this a company called Overflow creating a brilliant game called Mad Shot, and they are porting to Switch. So I'm always like leaning into their door and so that's a development machine. How does it work? And they're pumping them on information because they are brilliant and being collaborative like that is always fun and interesting. So I'm looking into that. Team first though.
Team first. Got you. Got you. Thank you. And we have one more question, very interesting question in the topic and kind of out of the topic at the same time. So Ace is asking, let's say that he wants to use your game for an upcoming LAN event. Are you guys open for a dialogue? And it's he mentioned that it's an El Gigante LAN event. If you guys are interested into those kind of stuff, collaborations, LAN events.
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to answer.
Yeah. We would be super interested, and he can just or she can just reach out to us on either like Discord or here on Steam.
I'll send
or
also the
on social
contacts as well.
media.
Yeah. I'll also push the contacts. Don't worry. Okay.
Super cool.
I hope that answer is satisfying for Ace, and thank you so much for answering that. That was a really nice question, and I would love to see something that on a LAN event. Though you guys are 2,600 kilometers far away from here, but it's gonna be worth it to come back to Sweden.